I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Every man has a duty to question the lies. When DC turns its back and looks us in the eyes, the deep state had changed, but we shattered every link. Now the engine is roaring, full throttle, no blame. They mocked us from their towers while the country nearly fell, but the fire in us answered, red, white, and blue as hell. From the mountains to the prairies, hear the thunder in the streets. A million boots marching to the same damn beat. We are the Patriot Confederation. We are the Patriot Confederation. The Patriot Confederation, we are the Patriot Confederation. They called us conspiracy theorists, tried to bury the flame, but the flame became wildfire, and we're done with the shame. Washington's courage, Jefferson's pen, Declaration of Independence, let it ring again. The Constitution's promise, Bill of Rights held high, Old Glory still waving through the smoke in the sky. This is bigger than parties, bigger than pride. It's the soul of a nation that they try to divide. When the eagle screams and the Liberty Bell rings, we'll defend what I found is built with everything. No more shadow, no more lies. Look up, brothers and sisters, see the fire in our eyes. We are the Patriot Confederation. We are the Patriot Confederation. We are sworn to the Constitution till the day that we die. The Patriot Confederation, forever we rise. As the Patriot Confederation, we do not bend, we do not break. We stand on the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Liberty will never fall.
This is the Patriots Prayer Network, where truth matters.
The following is a presentation of AOW Productions.
The views and opinions by the hosts and guests of this program do not reflect those of the Patriots Prayer Network, its owners and/or associates. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Every patriot has an obligation to question authority. Those who are honest are not concerned with your watchful vigilance, and those with integrity are not concerned with your discernment. Every American is obligated to voice their concerns and stand up for their freedoms and liberties.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the men in the arena. We are the Patriot Confederation.
We will never back down from a fight. We're undefeated Americans.
In shadows forged by ancient lies, a spark ignites, the veil shall rise. Welcome to Patriot Confederation for what is the August the 11th, 2026. I'm your host, Bad Billy, out of Twin Falls, Idaho. Joined as always by John Grosvenor out of Nashua, New Hampshire. How's it going up there in New England, brother?
It's going, Billy, you know, same old New England, hot as hell in August.
Oh, it's pretty bad here too. Plus, keep the Northwest in your prayers. We have a lot of fires going on here. In fact, it's not too bad in my area, except it's turned the sky kind of an orange color. So definitely, and parts like Spokane, Washington's getting it real bad. So pray for them.
Must be kind of spooky, huh? An orange color to the sky, and probably got haze out there too. Yeah, you guys get it bad sometimes, man. In the wintertime, you get so much snow, and in the summertime, you get all the wildfires and all that good nonsense.
We didn't get hardly any snow this last winter, and that's why we have all these fires.
Yeah.
You know, if we have a good winter with snow, we're not going to have such a rough fire season. But oh boy, yeah, this last winter we hardly got any snow, hardly got any rain, and it's bad right now.
No, you still got your freedoms, though. I mean, Idaho still rates pretty high in the list.
Yes.
But New Hampshire's still number one, gentlemen. Still number one, according to the Cato Institute.
All right. And joining us this week, of course, I want to welcome Tom Mannion to the show. He's from Bellum, New Hampshire. And, of course, he's also running for office. Tom, thank you very much for joining us. How are you today, sir?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm actually 2 towns over from John.
Yeah, he's close. He's close. Yeah. I noticed you're from Massachusetts, bro, and I won't hold that against you because you rate so high in freedom rankings and stuff. But I see how you barely made it across the line.
I did. When I moved up here in 2020, it was like a 15-mile due north move for me. Not too hard.
No, not too hard. Right from Lowell, huh?
Yeah, right south, Chelmsford, right on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the profile here is quite interesting. Here in November of 2020, I was happily to proclaim myself as a resident of Pelham, New Hampshire. I escaped the lockdowns of Massachusetts and vowed to ensure that something like that would never happen again.
Yeah. That's my story that brought me all the way to the State House here in New Hampshire. Is I was living in Mass when all those lockdowns came down, and it's like going to the grocery store. It's like 6 people at a time, 1 person per aisle, like the madness that was down here. But then during the summer of 2020, I took a vacation up to New Hampshire because I was gonna lose my mind otherwise. And grocery stores were like wide open. There was nary a mask in sight, especially up by the lakes region. It was so beautiful. And I was like, this is it. I always knew I was moving to New Hampshire, but sometimes it takes that kick in the seat to actually go and do it. And that was what it was. It was those horrible lockdowns of Massachusetts. It was terrible.
I hate to compare you to communist China and stuff, or Massachusetts to communist China, but I notice these places come from these repressive areas. Mm-hmm. And when they arrive to the United States of America, or in your case, New Hampshire, they jump right into politics like, it's not happening. It's not. I'm going to make sure that I come from that tyranny, and I'm not going to have that tyranny here. Lily Tang Williams is a good example. She's running.
Oh yeah, she's running CD2. She's hopefully our congresswoman this year.
She very well. She's got her and another gentleman. I forget his name. He looked like he has a good platform too.
Yep. Victor Orlando. He's in the primary with her.
Yep, that's right. And two good candidates right there in our district. Lily has worked her butt off for years for this position, so we'll see what happens this primary coming soon next month.
Yep.
And just a quick note too. I mean, we talk about what you escaped in Massachusetts, and after what the governor signed into law yesterday, you're probably even happier to be out of there, if I'm assuming correct.
Yeah, if you're talking about the up to the day of birth abortions that they just passed yesterday in Massachusetts, it's egregious.
Oh, you know, John, yesterday on my other show, I talked to Bishop Mark Grennan again. If you remember, we talked to him last year, and he was, of course, falsely arrested and his name dragged through the mud by ABC News because he was selling something so dangerous and so toxic. But nonetheless, this stuff is that he sells has been chlorine dioxide. It's already been recommended by RFK Jr. So that should say a lot right there. And him and his sons need to be pardoned. But he told me yesterday that when it comes to these late-term abortions, it is intentional because evil scientists need these fetuses for their experiments, and some of it's even for, I hate to say
stem cells, man.
Not cannibalism. You believe?
Oh, whoa.
There's, I know that's a taboo thing to say. And of course, people are going to call me the crazy conspiracy theorist, but there have been too many rumors and stuff documented by people in Hollywood doing this. And this is, I mean, they just gave me another reason to hate abortion and stand against it. I mean, I understand there are every great now and then there's the health of the mother, and there's that necessary precaution, but wow. And now up to the point of birth.
I can't fathom something like that. That's crazy. New Hampshire, we frankly, it was, I think, 3 terms ago. Up until then, we had it legal until birth as well. It was passed as part of I think it was our HB2 in the budget in 2020. We finally banned late term. And it's doing just that was like, because there is like a still contingent of left-leaning individuals, especially in the middle of the bell curve. Some of them take that as a very serious infringement on their rights, and they showed up in force in 2022, and that's why we actually lost a lot of seats in our house in New Hampshire to Democrats over that one topic, because so many people are just misinformed on gestation periods and things like that, and I don't understand why. It's like a perfectly viable baby at that point, and it's why you wouldn't ban it outright. I don't understand. And Massachusetts is going in the exact opposite direction. Like we used to point to in New Hampshire, they pointed to Massachusetts and said they even have it banned for anything after 24 weeks. Like, why does New Hampshire still have it legal? So they banned it in New Hampshire. Now Massachusetts has just gone completely crazy.
And I've said this before. When I was in school, when I was in my teens, I remember though, teen pregnancy in the 80s was starting to become a huge problem. And so, that along with the AIDS crisis and all that. And so you started seeing these ads on TV, like use a condom, to prevent pregnancy and STDs. And now they said, they're encouraging unprotected sex and saying, don't worry, there's Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. It being used as contraception is disgusting. Like the cases that we always talk about, it's like anytime the left starts like having a hissy fit about this topic, they always talk about like the edge cases where it's like rape, incest, things like that, where it's like, well, it has to be legal because of these reasons. But it's then you go on like TikTok or Reddit or one of these places, and there's like women in there, like hardcore leftists that are just celebrating the fact that they've got an abortion. And some of it's so disgusting where it's, they find out the gender of the child. It's like, oh, I was carrying a male, so I killed his ass. And it's like, wow, that's awful.
Well, yeah, not only that too, but there was this one girl who was all over her TikTok or whatever social media. She clearly said she can't live without sex. She doesn't like condoms, allergic to birth control. Thank God there's Planned Parenthood.
My God.
And to me, that's what also makes me very angry about that is there are God-fearing, wonderful couples out there that want children so bad and cannot have them, and it's not fair to them.
Agreed. I agree.
That's another part of it too. But shame on Massachusetts. I mean, the governor obviously has, also says that she's going to fight Donald Trump when it comes to deportations and ICE. I mean, this is a scary time, especially when you see, what do they call themselves, Democratic Socialists winning these primaries, and we already have Mamdani, who's doing a horrible job with New York.
Yeah.
And
New York was doomed before Mamdani, but he sure is putting a cap on it.
Sliwa would have at least tried to would have hooked up a hose and tried to hose down the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have Mamdani just pouring gas on it.
Yeah, Cuomo sticking in that race, I think it was a massive disservice to the city. If he bowed out, we could have at least put more people in the Sliwa column and seen at least a more competitive outcome, I hope.
Yeah.
There's been expressions of concern for voter fraud or something going on in New York City concerning Mamdani. And it's kind of interesting there was such a low turnout.
Yeah.
Well, it was also that jungle primary ranked choice voting. That too. I mean, that's how they're doing their primaries. That's how California's doing their primaries. I mean, they tried to implement it here in Idaho, but we voted it out. But sadly, on our upcoming ballot, we do have that Proposition 1, which is for late-term abortions. And I'm just hoping that Idahoans are going to be smarter than that. But these children are being taught leftist agendas. And of course, I mean, I'm seeing kids coming out of school and they're talking about how evil capitalism is, which, I mean, they're pushing for it. They know what they're doing. And this is a very, very scary time.
The one counter to that is like there is hopefully a new grassroots with everything following the Charlie Kirk assassination, where there's I'm seeing at the State House now that like right now in this current campaign that we're running, there's like a record number of like young folks under the age of 25 that are registered to run, and most of them are on the Republican side, and they come from like that conservative background. They grew up listening to Charlie Kirk, and they're like, I hope that that's like a sign of the tide turning. But I've also heard that it's kind of like a gender divide, where like the males in high school and college right now are more to the right than the women. So like there's not only a political divide, but it's a long gender ideology. Gender divide. And I don't know how we reconcile something like that when the two, it's like you have the left and right, and then it's also gender split. I'm not sure how we course correct something like that.
Well, we are already at the first quarter, and so we're going to go ahead and take our first break.
Okay.
And when we come back, of course, we'll talk about you and the plans you have for New Hampshire. Plus, I have a question that's just itching at me, but I'll ask that when we come back in about a minute and a half. Excuse me.
Right.
The Caravan to Midnight store has all kinds of stuff to make your life easier and better. Nucleo Boost, the most advanced nutritional and immune support product in the world, available in both powder and capsules. Copper Peptide Serum Quantum Youth Drops. Premier NAC. Educational books by renowned experts and masters, CTM store gift cards, and subscriptions to access the Caravan to Midnight show archives. Go to ctmstore.com and use the promo code OUTLAW when you place your order.
Have you ever wondered why so much of what you hear in the media feels filtered or even manipulated? The truth is, most major news outlets are controlled by collectivists. People who think it's their duty to shape what you believe. So the common man ends up with a so-called correct opinion. At needtoknow.news, we do things differently. We provide unfiltered news and commentary as an antidote to the mainstream's newspeak. Here, there are no distractions with sports or celebrity gossip. Instead, we focus on what truly matters: your freedom, your health, and your financial security. And while we stand for individualism, we promise this: we'll never twist the facts just to fit our view. Even if the truth is uncomfortable, we'll report it anyway and let truth have its voice. Join thousands who refuse to be misled. Sign up for the needtoknow.news newsletter today and start seeing the world as it really is.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Once again, we're joined by Tom Mannion out of New Hampshire. And Tom, question I have for you. Well, here in Idaho, we had Mark Fitzpatrick run for governor, and I thought he was an excellent choice, but there was some backlash to that because obviously our current governor, our current rhino governor, is he's a native Idahoan, actually was born about 20 miles from where I grew up. And Mark Fitzpatrick came from California, and he sees the writing on the wall for what they want to do to Idaho because he's already been to California and seen everything. But of course, Idahoans are not very haven't been very kind lately to Californians because a lot of them too. They're not the conservatives escaping the communist hellhole. A lot of them are like, well, I love Gavin Newsom, but it's too expensive to live here. And so they want to carry over the policies that they don't realize made them broke in the first place. And Mark Fitzpatrick, in his case, even one of my uncles said, oh, he's from California. What does he know about Idaho? He doesn't need to be here. Mm-hmm. You know, and I said, he knows more about freedom than the man we have in office right now. So with you coming over to New Hampshire from Massachusetts, are you getting any of that same kind of backlash from a few people?
What's strange is when I knock doors in town, one of the things I hear frequently is like, well, I'm also a Massachusetts transplant, but I came up here for the right reasons. Came to escape the taxation, the gun control, the horrible school, the horrible lack of school choice, and whatever their gripe was with Massachusetts. So people migrating to a place where they actually belong and can make a difference, I think is important. New Hampshire does have like a unique, we have a funneling system for like liberty-minded individuals called the Free State Project that has been reaching out to other states, especially blue states, where we know that there's individuals that are, you know, they're gun lovers, they're God lovers, they're family people, individuals that are just lost in New York, they're lost in Jersey, they're lost in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont.
That's a lot of people.
It is. And yeah. They need to realize this, the success isn't in bashing your face against that blue wall in those blue states. Success is the concentration strategy. So like me, I knew I was going to move to New Hampshire because I was aware of what was going on here. It just took COVID to put my butt in gear and get me to move. And we need to find that event that may drive these other individuals up here to New Hampshire. We are the last bastion for liberty in the Northeast. Like, we are surrounded by like failing states. Maine used to be up in contention with us, but now they're falling apart. So, and we're trying to scoop some of their people over, right? So if we can get more liberty-minded individuals, conservative families to move to New Hampshire, we can continue moving towards a much better state, keep us number one in the nation. And we're going to end up putting the gap between us and Florida bigger and bigger every year. They'll have no chance to catch us.
I come up from Florida too, man. I love Florida. So I'm privileged to come from a free state, like the second freest state, to the freest state.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the state of Maine, too, a lot of people don't realize that Maine is much more conservative than it appears to be. It's the city of Bangor that just takes it all away. Plus, if Maine did not have ranked choice voting in the general election, not just the primary, they have ranked choice voting in the general election. Maine and Alaska, the only two states that have that.
Yeah.
Maine would be a red state without that.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you guys, I blame conservatives a lot. And the reason why is because I kind of think conservatives outnumber the liberals overall. But conservatives have this thing. See, our mindset is our U.S. Constitution guarantees us our God-given rights of freedoms, right? Our liberties, our civil liberties. And we rest on that. We already have them. What are we fighting for? Because they're there, right? And so liberals are motivated because they want to take all this away. Mm-hmm. So they gang out. So conservatives tend to be a little bit lazy in voting. Conservatives tend to be a little bit lazy in getting out there. Overall, I think places like Maine is probably more conservative than people give it credit for. Southern Maine, you said Bangor, and you're right about Bangor, but Southern Maine too tends to be very liberal in various areas. And but I think overall conservatives tend to be on the outskirts. They live more rural and less suburban urban, and they tend to just kind of relax on their haunches a little bit and not get active for their freedoms and liberties, not realizing we have to preserve that. We can't just sit there and say it's already there, so we have it. No, the left will infringe upon it because they can.
Yep.
Because they don't mind violating your constitutional rights. They turn around and say, you don't need a gun. What do you need a gun for? Mm-hmm. You don't even need to hunt. You get your meat from the store where they put it. It's like, but you say you have a right to abortion? That's not even listed in your Constitution.
Oh, I've already heard something else too. It's like you don't need to slaughter cattle. You don't need to hunt for food because Bill Gates is taking care of that.
Yeah, exactly. We tried to put a constitutional amendment for a right to hunt into our Constitution. It's something that's still in the works. We're trying to put it in there. Protected right.
Preserving. Yeah.
I noticed you're a gun lover, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking maybe we need to get together sometime and run out there to the Granite State gun range and squeeze off a few rounds. You know, where people like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz go when they're up here.
I have a membership.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh man. Yeah. It's one thing our two respective states have in common right there is we love our guns.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge fan, and we're constantly trying to find ways to expand it too. We just tried to pass a campus carry up here, and just these annoying colleges just take it upon themselves to prohibit college students from being able to carry. I don't see any caveat on the Second Amendment that says a college kid can't do it because he's on campus. But I don't think so. I think he has a right to self-defense wherever he is. So that's something we're hoping to get across. That was one of those young kids I was talking about earlier, filed that bill last year. This kid, Sam Farrington from the Seacoast. He's a UNH, University of New Hampshire student. And he fought that fight real strong in his first term. He got national recognition on his fight with this thing. And I hope he gets it across the finish line this year.
Here's the thing. We're seeing in Massachusetts, they did have a committee for Jewish or anti-Semitism, and now they've created a committee for Islam. And they're going to be an 11-member committee for Muslims and stuff like that to integrate Islam or protect the interest of religion in the state of Massachusetts. I don't know if you're seeing Islamization happening here in New Hampshire or not. I'm not seeing it so much, but we're seeing a lot of threats and attacks. I like to call us Islamophobic.
Mm-hmm.
A phobia is an irrational fear. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's irrational when you're seeing people shooting other people that are of the religious belief. Mm-hmm. And when you have clerics that are promoting violence, claiming spiritual war against us and sending people out there to do these sorts of things. So when you start hearing people saying, no, in fact, I don't usually carry. And I'm starting to think, maybe it's time to start carrying. New Hampshire allows me to conceal and open carry if I wish to. I don't need a permit. I'm starting to think I need to find a caliber weapon that's right for the pocket. Something you carry around, but it's not standing out there. The ones I have are a little large just to carry around. And but I'm starting to realize maybe we just need to start carrying now. As long as we got the ability to do so, do it. And if they want to take them on campus, they should be able to take them on campus, because that's what stops the violence. That's what stops the crime.
100%. Gun-free zones are casualty zones, in my opinion.
Oh my God.
There's also there's an added benefit if I used to be a staunch never open carry. You don't want to give away too much tactical information, right? You want to be the guy that's ready. But there's a side point to that where if we all open carry, it signals to the liberals that they're not welcome here.
Well, there's that too. I prefer to conceal carry myself, because I just don't want the attention, and I never, as Mark Walters says, never leave your cave without your club, and I never do. And I mean, when I was just in Las Vegas for the Red Pill Expo, my wife wanted to jump off of the stratosphere, and I was going to go watch her do it, but then I found out I had to walk through an area where we were going to get waved down. I'm like, oh crap. So, nope, I can't go. And I wasn't going to go to a city like Vegas and not carry.
Yeah.
So Tom, I'd walk it back a little bit and say, it's not that liberals aren't welcomed here, because they might take that as threatening because they're so fragile. You might just like to claim maybe we're not tolerant of their types of policies.
Yeah, that's fair. That's much more fair. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the concentration strategy works two ways. We want to bring in really good liberty people, really good conservative people, but we also, those rabid leftists that want an income tax, that want late-term abortion, want to take our guns away, they need to be concentrating elsewhere. They need to go to New York. They need to
go back to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yep. The number one reason people move to New Hampshire out of Massachusetts because they can afford to live here and there's more freedoms. The number one thing they want to do is change it to be more like Massachusetts. It's like, what are you thinking?
It's insanity. The upside, that used to be the trend in the early 2000s, where it was just limousine liberals would just move up here, and they were making the state more and more blue. But thankfully, in the last decade or so, the people that have been moving have been people escaping COVID lockdowns because they didn't believe it. So it's a lot more right-leaning individuals like myself. So the state is trending more red. You can see it in the voter registration data. And thankfully, I think it was the last midterm was the only one of the only state legislators that didn't get blown out. And went completely blue. And I'm hope that trend continues with this midterm.
Absolutely. Another piece of comedy too that I almost forgot about, but there was one member of Queers for Palestine talking about going over there because America's so racist and homophobic. And I'm like, he really
out of touch.
I mean, a good friend of mine calls Queers for Palestine homos for homophobes.
Oh my God!
Well, I think that's fitting, because go ahead and go over there and see what happens. And I guarantee you better buy a one-way ticket, because you ain't coming back, and they will make sure you ain't coming back.
Yeah.
If you buy a two-way ticket, the person coming back may not be welcomed here. May not be wanted.
That's a whole other thing. So you were mentioning the Massachusetts is just not going to cooperate with ICE. That's actually it's one thing if it's a big state where it's concentrated in a central area of the state where it becomes the problem of that state. But in New England, if any of our neighboring states is straight up a sanctuary state, that ends up becoming a problem. We most of the crime in Pelham in specific. I watched the weekly blotter from our police. Most of our crime is from Massachusetts, specifically Lowell and Lawrence. And those names, it's not Smith, it's not the last name. And that when they're coming over and it's DUI or threatening with a weapon. And so we're getting spillover damage from our neighbors not cooperating.
New Hampshire was quite good about keeping drugs and organized crime out of New Hampshire. They had some very good strategies and tactics. And so it remains in Haverhill and Lowell and surrounding areas below us. Now the problem is you got runners, people that are involved in the drugs here in New Hampshire, doing drugs, and they run down there and collect and run it back up because they live up here. That's what we lost out on a lot of it. But you're right. You see a lot of issues coming out of those areas because of the drug trades and stuff.
Yeah. My go-to reply is that's where we should build the wall. The New Hampshire, Massachusetts border.
I used to say we here in New Hampshire have a southern border problem.
Yes, we do.
But I'm glad to see you made it across.
I made it.
I have a couple of friends from Massachusetts. I'm glad to see they made it.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
We got to get all the good people over before we finish building that humongous ice wall. It's got to look like the one from
an ice wall. Yeah. That's what you're striving for. You're gonna have a hard time with that this time of year. Trust me, I know. I'm from Florida. I know Florida heat when I feel it. I've been feeling it lately.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well,
the melting ice wall. We're not getting into flat Earth theory, right? We're okay with that. Okay. As long as we're good.
I don't care. That's an argument I don't even care about, because I'll say really quick, I've heard scientific arguments that sound valid on both sides, and whether the Earth is round or flat, it's however God made it, and that doesn't affect my life. So that's a stupid argument.
Well, definitely a stupid argument. I don't know where they're coming from.
All right, we're at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. And we'll continue this discussion when we come back in about 2 minutes.
America's under attack, and they're all around us. I'm talking about liberal Democrats, and they're out to destroy everything that we've worked so hard for. Mammoth Nation's here to fight for you. You only get one vote, so let's join forces. We support conservative lawmakers and the causes you hold so dearly. We stand behind our police, veterans, the Second Amendment, and much more. We need your help, so join today.
Hey friend, have you heard of Q Broadcast? It's taking the world by storm. People are cutting the cord to their high cable bills and moving away from streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and others for something better. Q Broadcast. For just $60 a month, you'll get access to every channel you could ever want. And the best part? There are no contracts, no hidden fees, and you're free to cancel anytime. With Q Broadcast, you can enjoy live streaming TV, movies, and top series on up to 5 devices at once. Whether you're at home or you're on the go, Q Broadcast makes sure your entertainment is always at your fingertips. That's right, you can watch all your favorite channels from anywhere at any time and with 0 restrictions. Say goodbye to contracts, extra fees, hidden costs, and price hikes. Switch to Q Broadcast, save money, and get more content than ever before. Click the link in the description of this video or podcast and sign up for Q Broadcast today.
True American Patriots, if you're seeking premium American-made CBD, look no further than Patriots Relief. We're a Christian, conservative, family-owned company, proudly MAGA and America first. Our organically grown, high-potency CBD products are the best. Tinctures, gummies, soft gels, relief rubs, pet formulas, and our daytime-nighttime weight loss system, all pure, clean, and bottled in the USA. 30-day empty bottle guarantee. Love it or your money back. Same-day shipping before noon. Every purchase supports Patriot causes through our United Patriots program. Visit patriotsrelief.com/outlaw right now. That's patriotsrelief.com/outlaw and get the relief you deserve.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Once again, we're joined by Tom Mannion out of New Hampshire. Now, Tom, I want to ask you, since you're an incumbent and you're running for re-election, what are some of the main topics that, or the main issues you would say that you've always campaigned for?
So my first term I campaigned on, it was basically restraining the governor for any kind of states of emergency that would go on indefinitely. That was something I was like super stoked that we actually passed my first year. We had to put it in the budget. It's our only like big omnibus where we can actually force things down the throat of the Senate and the governor. That was my first term. And now my second term, I've actually like taken up the torch for the Defend the Guard initiative, which basically just says we're not going to send the New Hampshire National Guard into a combat zone without a formal declaration of war from Congress. As a combat vet myself, like I originally had enlisted to after 9/11 because I was in high school in my sophomore year when 9/11 occurred, and I didn't really have a plan for my future. And I was just so angry about what happened to us that I wanted to enlist immediately. I got a 99 on my ASVAB. They told me I could do any job I wanted. And I said, I want to be the guy that shoots bin Laden. So they said, the infantry it is. So I joined the Marine Corps. And but the thing is, like, I never ended up going to Afghanistan or looking for bin Laden at all. I ended up in Iraq, and it was because of that whole thing that I ended up becoming very much more familiar with U.S. foreign policy. I found Ron Paul and all that, and that actually was like my political awakening. And it's kind of brought me to the point where I believe that we have a constitutional process, and the founders always envisioned. And Madison has a fantastic quote where he says, like the executive is always the most keen to war, and it's kind of always been that way through the history leading up to the the United States Revolution, where it was kings would just use their subjects as pawns, and especially like the British kings, and they would be the most prone for war, and then the low men would be the ones suffering in those wars. So I believe that we should follow the constitutional process, and the founders put that. They delegated that duty to the Congress, and we have not formally declared war since World War II. We've been operating under these authorizations for use of military force, and frankly, we haven't even passed those in a lot of the conflicts that we've been a part of. Libya, Syria, Yemen, any of these, like they try to claim that they're underneath the 2001 AUMF after Al-Qaeda, but in a lot of these conflicts, we're fighting on the same side as Al-Qaeda, especially in Syria, especially in Yemen. So I believe that if we're going to take our National Guard, our militia, our state militia, and send them off to these foreign conflicts, they should have to go through the constitutional process first. And we need to rein in from the states. From the states, we need to assert our authority over our militia to tell Congress to do their job.
See, I think that was a usurpation, right? Militia was to the states, according to our U.S. Second Amendment. Exactly. Mentioned, right? And it belonged to the states. And the federal, but they did in 1792, they did pass some federal laws regarding the use of militia by the president, but it didn't say for foreign conflicts.
Correct. The Constitution actually outlines the three duties of the militia. It is to repel invasion, suppress insurrection, and execute the laws of the Union. Those are constitutionally prescribed duties of the militia. The federal government has the authority to raise an army, which then they can send overseas. But every time the militia gets called forth, they need the consent of the governor. And that's what the Defend the Guard slips in here and says the governor is not authorized to give to release the National Guard into Title X activation without a formal declaration of war from Congress first. And like I think Michael Moffat said last time, the threat is defund the Guard, where they think that if we pass this bill, the federal government just won't fund our National Guard anymore. But the Constitution also mentions in its Article 1, Section 11, Clause 15 and 16, they call it the militia clauses. It says Congress shall provide for the training of and the armament of the militia. So they're going to violate one side of the Constitution or the other side of the Constitution. All we're saying is just declare war. You used to do this, and it used to put the country in a war footing. If you're going to send our men and women that have stepped up and said that they are going to serve our nation and potentially die for our nation, our congressmen should have the gall or the balls to put their name on a clear up-down vote on war.
We don't elect people with backbone anymore. We elect puppets, and and our choices are the puppets. This is the issue that we've been having for a long time, and that's why you're talking about the authorization of use of military force as opposed to declarations of war since World War II, because they're too afraid they'll get voted out if they vote for war. They're too afraid they'll get voted out. They do their damn job.
Yep, exactly.
Like, do what you're supposed to do. Be a representative. Hey, by the way, get back in touch with your constituents and stop serving corporations and special interest groups. And we're seeing you making all these millions of dollars out of your position. Maybe you shouldn't be there if that's your goal.
Yeah. And then just living in that role until they're basically brain dead and forever, right? And then insider trading and all that. And
what was that, a McConnell reference?
Oh, not just him. It's not Feinstein. Feinstein did the same thing.
Yeah, like there's many of them. Yeah, they're checking out on us before their bodies quit. Yeah,
exactly. And they don't even know what they're voting. They don't remember that they're senators.
I do have to ask real quick too. Were you ever stationed in San Diego?
No, I was a Camp Lejeune guy.
Okay. Now my best friend served in the Corps, and I meant to ask this to Michael last week because I'm pretty sure he was out there as well. My best friend served in the Corps, and that's where he spent most of his time during his tenure of service. But one thing I can definitely tell about you is that you learned sense of duty from the military, and now here you are in office, and your sense of duty is to your constituents, not to the corporations.
Amen. That's absolutely true. That's the good news about the way that the government is structured here in New Hampshire is there are 400 reps for the entire state, which means one rep basically represents 3,500 people. It's impossible for any type of corporate entity to own anybody in the state house, or maybe the Senate, but definitely not in the state House of Representatives. It is not possible. So like we represent our neighbors and the people we see at the grocery store. Like I run into people all the time. I've been door knocking and then I stumble into them at the gym. Like it's the same people.
Yes.
That's keeping in touch. Yeah. That's one of the fortunate things about New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as far as I have to ask, where are you standing on education? Because I'm telling you what I want to see across the nation is I think we need to get pornography and communism out of our classrooms. I mean, why do we have books of an inappropriate nature in children's libraries, even high school libraries? I mean, I called the Boise Public Library and asked them if they had Playboy or Penthouse or Hustler, and they're like, "Oh, I don't think we have them." I said, "That's right."
Yeah.
So why would you have these said books especially available to children?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's one of my best friends at the State House is she's the chair of the Education Policy Committee is Kristen Noble, and it has been her crusade over the last 2 terms to ban these porn books from schools, and she's gone as far as like reading like the horrible text of these on the floor of the State House and getting gavelled by the speaker because it's breaking decorum. And it's hilarious that, and then the Democrats, when they start hearing these things get read out loud, will storm out in like a tantrum. They'll storm out of the State House. They don't want to hear it. And it's like, you don't want to hear it. The speaker doesn't want to hear it. It is breaking decorum, but our children are allowed to read this in an elementary school. Like, how is this acceptable? Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how that's acceptable. Plus, I mean, I remember growing up and we became friends with an immigrant family from the Soviet Union. And they told us how they didn't miss their homeland because they did not want to be oppressed anymore under a communist regime. But now it's like they didn't do socialism right, and we don't understand communism. And in the words of Mannion, what the frigidity of individualism and the warmth of collectivism. No, we need to get this ideology out of our classrooms.
I agree. That's actually another great state rep is Mike Belcher. He's been like the anti-communist guy, and he filed a bill. I believe he was the prime sponsor, but there was a bill that actually prohibited, it's not communism specifically, but any material that is provided by the World Economic Forum, which is like the European style communism that's coming under a different guise. Like that actually passed with governor's signature this year. So the schools are prohibited from teaching any curriculum that comes from the World Economic Forum. And I know that he's got like more bites at the apple, but some of this stuff is like ratchet strapping, like, cause trying to get stuff through that Education Policy Committee is like a nightmare. So like getting that book ban thing for the porn books, we got that through the House, got it through the Senate, and then the governor vetoed it, a Republican governor. Like apparently it was too broadly written or something, whatever her veto message is.
Yeah, you talking about Ayotte here recently? Yeah, no, what was her response? Yeah, it was too broadly written. And you're talking about keeping, the one I was looking at was banning transgenders from using.
That's another one. Yeah.
That's one she was talking about was too broad too.
Yep. That's been her. She vetoed like 20 something bills, which is kind of crazy when we have a trifecta government. Like, I don't know if that's got to be some kind of record. Like when we have red House, red Senate, red corner office, and she vetoes 20 bills that are all Republican bills. That's a little strange.
Ayotte stated that the bill was overly broad and would cause discrimination against transgender residents in public facilities.
Yeah,
So that was a transgender one. You were talking about something else.
It was the porn book bill. But
yeah.
I've got this to say. Just okay. You want to call that discrimination, but didn't a certain transgender just get kicked out of office, and then shortly after, arrested for child pornography, Ms. Stacy Lawton.
Yes.
He has been on the warpath for Stacy Lawton. He's serving his time.
Yep, federal prison. Yeah, and that was like that person was held up by the Democrats as like the first transgender state legislator, and it's just like now they're all like backing away, like, oh, that we don't want to touch that.
I wonder what prison they put him in, with the men or the women.
Men.
Yeah, that's. I figured as much.
Well, no, he's gone back to being a man since now he's in prison, is what I heard. And then just real quick too. My goodness, no, I had an altercation with that thing long before any of these. What made him famous, but. I actually spoke to somebody else in Nashua who is a very stern left-leaning Democrat, cannot stand Mr. Lawton, and actually seen him stuffing ballots in that one midterm election when he was a write-in candidate and won.
Yeah. For
what was it, selectman or whatever for the city of Nashua. Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's insane.
He cheated. He got seen doing it, but nothing was done. Anyway, we are at the final quarter, so we're going to take our final break, and we'll be back to wrap things up in just under 2 minutes.
Hi, my name's Sean Spicer, father of 2 elementary school age children. I don't even know that I have to open this. The hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. Anti-racist baby. Yeah, I don't know how many babies come out racist. Babies are taught to be racist. Really? I'm not really sure that this is a subject that young kids are ready to adapt to. Most kids are innocent. This is not really, we're gonna need like psychiatric help after reading this book. Yeah, it's a hard no.
Your book that's coming out.
See, this is more like it. This is what you can read. It's very well illustrated too. Great story, great message. Now this is a book you can read your kids.
In 2026, America reaches her 250th year. But according to the authors, America is not dying of old age. She is being intentionally and methodically murdered from within. Liberal versus conservative, black versus white, Democrat versus Republican, the divisions are endless. Who is shaking the American jar? From crime to media influence, government power, constitutional rights, illegal immigration, and election integrity, the Democrat Murder of America examines what the authors believe are the forces reshaping the nation from within. The evidence is unmistakable and deeply troubling. This book seeks to first expose the truth and show that a peaceful and effective solution still exists. Time is of the essence. The Democrat Murder of America by Daniel Perkins and Sheriff Richard Mack. Available now.
And I cannot stress enough the importance of that book, mind you. Go to murderofamerica.com and get your copy, because it's by reading this book and you educate yourself, it's one way we can rescue our republic. Anyway, so we're going to wrap things up here. Tom, it's with a few minutes left here, of course. What are some of the other issues that you think you would intend to tackle when you're in office?
So, I mean, yeah,
I think you're going to win. So
yeah, I hope I do. So I mean, I do have a primary, but it wasn't like a malicious one. So it's kind of just like two guys put their names on the ballot and didn't really understand that there was a coordination between a slate and all that. But they're cool guys, so I think we're good no matter what. I should hopefully be okay. But some of the things that like we're looking at, there's a big hubbub about the flock cameras thing.
Oh yeah,
they're currently already banned in New Hampshire, but they're banned for like law enforcement to deploy. They're not banned for like a bank to put them up. And that actually creates like this backdoor loophole where Flock can just approach like Market Basket and like grocery stores and have them install them, but they all still connect to the same like server system that all the other Flock cameras work off of. And we're trying to craft a way to deal with that, like banning them outright. There is like an edge case that I heard a real good argument about this, where it's like you can't ban any type of like road surveillance because that actually makes cars like Teslas obsolete. They need to be able to see the road. They need to be able to record the road, especially when it's crash recreation and all that. We need to find a way to cut the Fourth Amendment violation component, where any like law enforcement or federal government or any data brokers that are going to come and take your personal data, your tracking data, where you're moving around the town. We need to find that and stop that sharing of information. So that's something that's actually a bipartisan thing right now that's being worked on right now. The chair of Crim Justice is, I think, working with the Democrats, because this thing could just pass unanimously out of the House, just like whatever. If we can craft this thing in the proper way, we'll just forbid this stuff from happening in New Hampshire. I mean, you're on your own if you drive over to Massachusetts line. I'm sorry, there's flock cameras literally on the border.
Oh, my city is heavily bugged with flock cameras.
Yep.
And in fact, that reminds me, there was a man that did a video and about what Jordan Salinas did wrong. Jordan Salinas is the man who shot back at the In-N-Out Burger in this shooting we had right here in Twin Falls on the 1st of August. They said what he did wrong. Well, cameras spotted him. It's like, well, number one, in that situation, do you think you really have time to think if you're going to stop a shooter and you have to fight fire with fire?
Yeah, no, you're not tracking cameras.
Number two, there's flock cameras everywhere, so you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how is it wrong that the cameras got him? I'm missing something here.
Well, had he been in a state like California or Massachusetts or Colorado or whatever, he'd be facing charges.
Yeah.
I got you. So for his own protection and stuff, while acting see, New Hampshire's law, basically you can act in the defense of somebody else to preserve life and stuff like that.
Yep.
I don't understand other states that don't have such laws, because this is how you deter crimes. And fortunately for the people at In-N-Out Burger, there was a off-duty officer, I believe,
with
his weapon, and that's why somebody was shooting out of the building back at him, caused him to flee. And the attacker did look pretty incompetent for the most part, fortunately, because that probably helped save lives too, his incompetence. But yeah, I mean, having those weapons are two people having weapons, they're pretty much deterred it. And I guess the attacker took his own life in the end of it.
Yes, and sadly, somebody my wife knows had to watch that man do it, and like I say, if that's not going to give you shell shock, I don't know what would. I personally had to witness somebody who jumped off the edge of a building when I worked at a casino in Reno, and I was sent up there. We saw him on surveillance wandering around like an idiot on the roof level of the parking garage. I was sent up there to go see what he was doing. And right in front of me, he jumped over the edge, and that sound is not something you can ever forget. And I sometimes still hear it once in a while, so if you witness, and take that, you witness what that poor lady had to witness, that guy blowing his brains out right in front of her. How can somebody go through that,
Yeah.
But no, I mean, states like Idaho and New Hampshire, I mean, obviously, we hold Jordan Salinas high as a hero here, and I'm sure if the incident happened in New Hampshire, he'd get the same treatment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see, we've had him. What was the church in Texas? Wasn't it Texas or Oklahoma? They were having church services. Somebody tried to fire up on parishioners, and a bunch of armed men come out and stop that one. Yep. Indiana at the mall. There seems to be a pattern here, gentlemen. When you fire back, these cowards run. They seem to feel pretty tough when they're the only one holding a weapon, but when the return fire comes their way, they run.
Well, the guy in Indiana, he didn't have a chance to run. That kid who was carrying his weapon knew what he was doing, and
he tried to retreat back into the bathroom, of which he emerged, from my understanding, but it was too late for him.
Yeah, that kid hit him center mass, and mind you, that was a gun-free zone. Well, I don't think they're a gun-free zone anymore.
No,
because that guy had 2 ARs fully loaded, like I don't know how many 30-round clips and he was ready to for a slaughter, and he got stopped.
See, you say that too. You say clips.
Or
instead of magazines. We used to say that in the 1980s. It was you always said clip, although it was wrong. I get it. But yeah, you go to a gun shop and you say clip, and oh boy, do you get it. They correct you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the people, the nomenclature Nazis, they're very, very strict about.
You use the right lingo there, man, or they're going to show you the door. You don't belong if you don't know the proper terminology. I don't think we trust you to shoot at our range.
That'd actually give me flashbacks to boot camp, where anytime you use the wrong word, you end up getting hazed. You got to do like 20 push-ups every time you use the wrong word.
Oh,
it's a price to be paid.
Yeah.
And now they probably were clap push-ups, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, your service that you provided for this country is appreciated. Your service for New Hampshire is appreciated. You know, another thing I like about you too is you're from a different age group. Yeah.
I'm in the millennial bar. I'm like, there's a whole other generation that's coming after me that's much crazier. The Gen Z conservatives, they're lit. They're cool.
But, you know, it's like sadly we just had a millennial voted out of office here in Idaho, and he was one of our best. And one thing he prides himself on is being the baby pushed in a stroller at an anti-abortion parade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So, you know, hopefully he runs again and gets back in there, but he got replaced by a rhino. Thanks to people not voting and those believing the lies, or those voting for his opponent just because he went to the same church and was a part of the congregation. A friend of mine actually voted for this gentleman's opponent because he was a member of the LDS church in his congregation. That was the only reason. It's like I voted for Josh Cole because he's done a good job, and if it's not broken, it don't need to be fixed.
I think it's critically important to get the turnout the vote, like especially this November. Conservatives do tend to rest on their laurels in midterms. They love to show up and vote for the president, and they'll usually vote down ballot. They're real good about that. They make sure that our people get in down ballot, but getting them to show up in those off years, and it's like pulling teeth sometimes.
In general, I think that works on both sides, but you're right. Conservatives are worse for it. And I keep saying to the Common Sense conservatives, we do that tomorrow night, Wednesday night, out of Nashua. We do that at WSMN. And I keep saying to people, you know, anybody that happens to be listening, you've got to get out and vote. We've got to keep the House. We got to keep the Senate. There's no two ways about it. Conservatives have got to get off their butts, get in there and vote. It's very important. And for mine, I don't know if you know who Therese Bastarach is, but she made the claim. You know, Therese, yeah. So she made the claim that Nashua, New Hampshire has more registered Republicans than it does Democrats. The problem is the Republicans aren't getting out and voting.
It could be a demoralization thing where they just see the state of things, like they are mostly blue, and they just give up. Like it could be a motivation thing.
Come on, we're conservatives. We got to have a stronger mindset than that.
I agree. Just show up and fight, man. Show up and fight. This state
that's
is winnable.
part of the fight.
You don't live in Massachusetts. You can win these fights. Just show up. All you have to do is show up and be ready to brawl.
I work a lot in Massachusetts as a truck driver, and I still see Trump signs, Trump insignias, flags. I've seen a lot of support for Trump in Massachusetts. Ironically enough, I didn't see any Biden or Harris signs until I got right down near Boston.
Yeah.
Then you see one or two. You didn't see any support for them.
No, nobody cared about them.
The left made a lot like their choices.
Anyway.
They just want to hate on Trump more. That's all. It's a clown show with them.
It really is.
Nobody's upset that Trump's in Iran. They're just upset because it's not Biden or Harris.
Well, I guarantee you, if Trump would have signed into law what Governor Little, mind you, I don't like him, but I like that he signed into law that we can execute pedophiles via firing squad. We're good. There is no doubt in my mind that we would see these blue-haired septum ring whatever holding up signs saying "Protect our pedophiles." They will do it.
Pedophiles' lives matter too.
Oh my goodness.
I will only say that with joking manner. I will not say
of course.
that the other way.
It's going to get clipped, though.
Well,
do what?
It's going to get clipped.
Oh no! Don't do that to me, people.
I actually commented on something too on Facebook. I said today the only protection a pedophile deserves is from the angry mob that watches them go from the walk the gallows to the noose, because they need to be interrupted at that moment. But anyway, Tom, I know we got it going in the ticker there, but if somebody wants to reach out, donate to your campaign, follow you on social media, where do they go?
It's Mannion 4 nh.com /donate. We'll actually send you right to my WinRed. I'm happy to take donations. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Well, hey, God bless you, and thank you so much for what you've done and what you continue to do, and wish the best of luck to you.
Thank you guys for having me on. This was fantastic.
It's been fun, man.
Yeah.
And next week we got a good one too, is we're going to be speaking with Cindy Bennett. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yep. It's on my committee.
Yeah. John, have you heard of Cindy Bennett?
I can't say as I have. I mean, we do have, like he said, 400 reps, so I don't.
Yeah. I spoke with her on the phone, and we're in for a treat next week. She is
awesome.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to Patriot Confederation. God save the Republic of the United States of America.
Events of recent history indicate that Americans are setting a course for the end of their own great nation. The ever-growing trend in this country is to judge people not by their individual character, but by their identity as a member of a specific group. No one has ever succeeded or failed in life as a result of their group affiliation. A person's success or failure is also not based on luck, but on the sum total of the decisions that they have made. Those who succeed do so through good work ethic and the wise use of their power to choose. The opposite is true of those who fail. The ideals of individual accountability and responsibility in the United States are dying every day. A gun cannot be responsible for a death, just as a shovel cannot be responsible for digging a ditch. Both are only tools and have no will of their own. Responsibility is an adjunct of conscious choice and is the price we pay for freedom. Freedom is also a tool. It's an essential tool that is needed by human beings if they are to prosper rather than to merely survive. Yet there are those who would rather trade their freedom for security. Some believe that it is the responsibility of government to provide freedom. In truth, we form government to ensure and protect the freedom that is already inherently ours.